Feminism isn't needed. Females have already achieved their goal. There is no longer a wage gap. Feminism in the West isn't real, it's just angry women shouting about equal rights. Are the majority of comments I see. I agree that there is no wage gap. Finally, it's about time. But I knew it was too good to be true. There are three factors of feminism: political, social, and economic. I don't believe political and social equality to men have been achieved yet based on what I see, experience, and know about. What you believe, see, experience, and know about, and what actually is, are two completely different things. Equal rights to men isn't as bad in the West as it is in the Eastern and Middle Eastern countries, but that doesn't mean that there still isn't inequality. Which begs a question: how exactly are women not equal to men in terms of rights? Maybe it doesn't matter to some people, but there's a huge movement over the situation. It matters to a lot of people. Agreeing or disagreeing, I just wish people could respect people's opinions. Tell the feminists that, since they keep shaming people for not being feminists and for being opposed to feminism. I'm a feminist, and that means I believe that men and women should have the same rights, and if you're not a feminist, you clearly don't want women to have the same fucking rights as men. Which is you basically saying women, the reason there are still people on the earth. You're cute. True, women do give birth to children, but men bring in the resources that everyone needs. So to say that women are the only reason that there are still people on the earth is not only wrong on so many levels, but it's completely gynocentric. Shame on you. Seriously. Should be treated like shit and shouldn't be able to vote or shouldn't get the same payment for doing the exact same job as a man, just as well as a man. Just stop talking. You're not winning people over to your cause. You're just being a childish, manipulative zealot. Knock it off. Oh great, another 77-cent girl. 1. That whole statement is based on the federal study of all working Americans' wages and compared the two genders. It was not a study on focused people doing the same jobs. Recent polls show men spend more time at work than women do, men invest in getting better paying jobs, and men take less time off than women. Maybe where you live, but I'm in Scotland. Where I live, men and women work just as hard as each other, but women sometimes paid less because of their gender, not because of how well the work is done or how long they stay at work. Well, Scotland has had the Equal Pay Act of 1970, and since Scotland seemed well adjusted with the rest of Western society, I would assume that women make less money than men per year for the same reason that women make less money here in America. Don't use logic, you'll confuse the poor feminist. Yeah, no. A lot of women get paid less because of their gender. Real life example, my dad works for the RAF and he got paid about 800 euros a month. And the girl at his work only get paid about 700 euros a month for doing the exact something as my dad. Just as well as my dad, but she gets paid less. Why? Because of her gender. And how do you know this exactly? Did you even control for all variables? Unless you provide a full picture, your anecdotal evidence means nothing. Try again. Can anyone name me one right that men have that women do not in America? The ultimate question for feminists, a question that none of them can actually answer properly. Walking to their car alone. Men are statistically more likely to be attacked than women are. Try again. 78 cents to $1. Complete bullshit. Try once more. If a man is raped, it is not blamed on his clothing. Just stop talking. You were given 3 tries to answer the question, and you didn't. As I said, this is a question that no feminist can actually answer properly. Honestly, I believe people are just intimidated by feminism. Oh, I'm not intimidated by feminism, I just hate it with an intense, burning passion. 'Cause yeah, media tends to present the fierce extremists more than boring, normal, equality-wanting people, and then those people are just too damn lazy to look up the definition. And then wanting to go against the flow could be a thing too, I guess. Anyways, damn uneducated people. The irony here is that you don't know how definitions work. Definitions are not the final authority on any given topic. They can and do change over time. Just because the definition is what it is does not mean that it is what it should be. Besides, actions speak louder than words. Please educate yourself on how language works before telling other people to educate themselves on the meanings of words. Butthurt people who want to reject feminism because they want to be edgy and think they know more about women's disadvantages than women do. You act as if every anti-feminist is male. There are plenty of women who don't support feminism, you know. Just do yourself a favor and stop talking right now. Nope, it's just that we actually think and find evidence before we make claims. We also don't have to yell our lungs out to get our point across. If you've reached a point where you have to do that to get people to listen to you, that just means that you're not confident with your argument. Preach. To all anti-feminists, don't ever date women. You seem not to have any respect for them. On the contrary, anti-feminists generally seem very respectful of women because they understand that women have agency and accountability, two things that most feminists don't seem to understand. Anti-feminists generally refuse to see women as perpetual victims because they simply aren't. They don't deserve to be disrespected by the sexist beliefs you have. Please don't project with a pathetic shaming tactic. It's very dishonest of you. Love seeing men in the comments act like they know what it's like to be a woman. Love seeing men in the comments say that women don't need a movement for their rights, rights that men already have and didn't have to fight for. Wow, female feminists really are self-centered. Why is it that a lot of women, mostly feminists, claim that women have it worse than men in life? They don't, and they never had it worse than men, ever. If you're a woman and you're experiencing suffering, most people will comfort and support you. You don't get that with most men. You simply don't. And I find it interesting that you seem to be under the assumption that men aren't lacking in rights when I can think of several rights that men don't have, one of which is lack of bodily autonomy at birth. But no, you keep thinking that women are oppressed and men are better off. At least it will help you sleep at night. Why does this have so many dislikes? Facts hurting? Ha! You and your kind are the last people to ever speak of facts. Nice try, though. Could you point me towards those facts? I must have missed them. They're not really facts, just feelings. All the damn time. Anti-feminist equals sexist. If you are anti-feminist, you really don't want women to have equal rights like men, which obviously means, you too are sexist. Please stop being that way. It kills me to know people want women to be thrown away like trash. What is it with this us versus them mentality? There is such thing as a middle ground, If you have to shame people into joining your movement, which ironically has the exact opposite effect of what you want, then there is seriously something wrong with your movement. God, these people are militants. My question is, what is so bad with feminism? Several things, actually. For starters, they don't have tangible, measurable goals to obtain. Their goals are based almost entirely on feelings, and therefore are impossible to reach. Secondly, feminism is too divisive. There's almost no universal agreement on what is and isn't a feminist issue and who is and isn't a feminist. In fact, there are several different flavors of feminism that range from sex-positive to individualist. Thirdly, most of feminism's rhetoric is anti-male. You have too many feminists, even the rational ones, saying that women have been oppressed for many, many years by men. What makes it so wrong is that men are biologically and culturally programmed to protect, pamper, and provide for women. It has always been this way. Fourthly, feminism lacks perspective. Feminists assert that women have never had a voice before feminism, yet if you actually look at history, you'll find that there are women who have expressed their views on slavery, alcohol, suffrage, and even anti-suffrage. Yes, there are female anti-suffragists. Women have always had a voice. Whether or not it was ever heard is a different discussion altogether. Basically, feminism's biggest problems are its lack of objective criteria, its anti-male propaganda, and its lack of understanding of context. If feminism would focus more on actual resolvable issues, stop demonizing men, and learn to look at the bigger picture, it would gain much more support than it already has. But it doesn't, so most people want nothing to do with it. All this is why I don't think I'll ever accept feminism. It has been a toxic movement from the start, and it doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. So, feminism, I have 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself!